Tonight on CTV News, it's back to school for many and new beginnings for Christchurch's newest school. Should fireworks be banned following a house fire? And monster slide madness, just what went wrong over the weekend?
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening to you. Today marks the first official day school returns for many children across the country, and we sent reporter Jared McCulloch back to school to see how the first day of term was working out for children battling the intense Christchurch heat.
It's lunchtime at Wairaki School in Christchurch, the scene one of many around the city. And for many 5-year-old Cantabrians, it's their first day.
Oh, it's a full-on day. First day is always exciting for both the children and the teachers, actually.
Shane has been teaching for nearly 25 years and has been the principal of this school for 7. Wairaki School wasn't affected by the reshuffle last year when Education Minister Hikia Parata merged and closed many schools around the city. But for this school, it's all about focusing on the year ahead.
This year we've been looking at developing our collaborative learning practice, and that actually means this year we're being a bit more overt, changing our physical spaces around and having teachers teaching in shared learning spaces.
Shane says the classrooms will share the teaching to improve their learning. Around 220 students are enrolled here, and this year there are 12 new entrance students starting, with half in one class and half in the other.
Been a bit of a growth for us over the last 18 months. We've been really developing our professional planning and learning practice together collaboratively anyway. So this is just that next step, and now our community is on board too, so it's great.
Today is the first day for nervous Ashley and Nicholas as they take on the start of their schooling journey, and they've been keeping busy.
Drawing.
Been drawing? What have you been drawing?
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Do you like dinosaurs? And it wasn't all about drawing, more about the bag Nicholas carries his new books in.
The first one I had was toilet.
It hasn't been a cruisy start for some of these primary school students. Take Riley, for example.
My favourite part is doing reading.
Why's that?
That means you learn to read and make sentence and make good friends.
And if you thought the students were feeling the nerves on the first day, well, think again.
I had a couple of teachers say, "Oh, it's a bit nervous, isn't it, when you first get into the first day? You don't know who you've got coming in, you don't know the bits and pieces."
But it's been a great start to the year for these new students.
Seeing the parents coming in with them, and you've always have a couple of those children who just hanging on a wee bit, but then you have the other extreme too. So, "Oh, Mum, can you go away now?"
And remembering your first day may just feel like it was only yesterday. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Well, our next story is a good example of why drunks should not be allowed to use fireworks, period. Flames erupted from a home in Champion Street on Friday night. Police say partygoers were seen playing with fireworks. Marcus Gibbs reports on the aftermath.
This was the scene Friday night as violent flames raged inside this wooden home. And this was the scene this morning. Fenced off by fire investigators, the charred remains of a pool table seen here through what's left of this window.
I woke up and suddenly the house is on fire.
Andrew captured these striking images of the fire at full force, while his neighbour Rishmi Nan filmed the fire raging from the street side. Rishmi was worried it was going to spread to her flat next door.
It was very, very scary. It was very sad to see anyone's house, its house that's burning. It's not very nice.
Canterbury police are investigating the fire. They're appealing for partygoers at the Edgware home to come forward and will spend the next few days interviewing witnesses. No one was injured or trapped in the house, but neighbours say fireworks could have been the cause. The flat was celebrating, and crackers were reportedly let off prior to the fire.
Talked to a couple of the neighbours on the street, and they said they'd actually heard fireworks earlier on.
In a statement, Detective Sergeant James Simpson says that it's too early in the investigations to determine what started the fire. However, the flat is notorious for parties that neighbours say quickly get out of control.
I got a 4-year-old daughter. Her spare room is on this side, so she really can't much go to sleep with this noise and everything. And the party goes till like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Nearby neighbours are finally getting peace now that the flatmates have moved out following the fire. But this peace has come at a cost.
These people have only been there a week, so they're brand new. They've just moved in.
Not a good start.
No. I guess party was a nuisance, but very sad to see people losing their possessions and their home.
Rishmi is calling for people to not use fireworks when drinking alcohol.
Especially when you know that you are drunk and you can't control it.
CTV hopes to have more information into the cause of the fire later this week, once the police investigation is complete. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
There's been another blaze just south of Christchurch, which had closed State Highway 1 between Robinsons and Waterholes Road for a number of hours this afternoon. The 15-hectare grass fire broke out just before 1:30 in the paddock on Main South Road between Rolleston and Templeton. Canterbury Fire Service Area Commander David Berry says 6 fire trucks and 7 tankers, assisted by 4 helicopters, attended the blaze, which is now under control. The weather today wasn't helping, with scorching temperatures reaching up to 30 degrees, spreading the fire through the dry paddock. It follows last week's fire at Flock Hill Station near Arthur's Pass, where over 300 hectares of forest went up in smoke and took over a number of days to bring that blaze under control. Well, a Christchurch couple getting frisky on Friday night could lose their jobs after they forgot to turn off their office lights, much to the delight of patrons inside the nearby Carlton pub. Photos and video images of the pair have gone viral on social media, with nearly 2,000 likes on Facebook and an entire forum dedicated to the couple on the website Reddit. The 2 employees of insurance broker Marsh Limited reportedly spent more than an hour together alone in the office. Patrons at the Carlton watched the entire ordeal. While the band Smashbox couldn't play because the diners were too distracted by the romp, and Fairfax is reporting company executives have been flown down to handle the investigation from Auckland. A man and a woman have both been identified in the photos, but it's very important to note that Robobank have naming rights for the building, but their employees were absolutely not involved in this. Well, still to come here on CTV News, reaction to the monster slide madness that went wrong. Welcome back to CTV News. Well, Christchurch police are still searching for offenders after 2 separate armed robberies. Police are looking for 2 people after an armed robbery at the Breezes Road Dairy. The pair demanded cigarettes and cash just before 6 p.m. on Saturday night. Police aren't revealing what weapon they used. Meanwhile, police are still keen to hear from anyone else who may have been near the Henry shop on Herwood Road at Bishopdale Mall just before 1 p.m. on Saturday. The 24th of January, a wheelchair user was allegedly robbed in that case. Anyone with any information on any of the issues relating to this are urged to contact police as soon as possible. Well, the weekend's monster slide event in Sumner has received rather mixed reviews. Thousands turned out to have a go on the giant water slide, but the fun turned into horror for one man who had to be airlifted to hospital. Emma Cropper has those details.
It was supposed to have been the event of the year, thousands flocking to Sumner for this monster slide. But long queues and a lack of slide left disappointed ticket holders upset. By mid-afternoon, 100 people were seeking a refund, and concerns for safety were raised after a 54-year-old man was airlifted to Christchurch Hospital with suspected spinal injuries.
To be perfectly honest, I can only speak for myself. I was disappointed in it. However, inspired from the support we had in terms of the amount of people that did show up, and it does give us, a bit of fire in the belly to try to improve and tweak the concept just to get it right.
A specially built 9-metre-high ramp wasn't enough to push sliders to the end of the 300-metre water ride. More than 3,000 people queued for up to 2 hours for their chance to take on the slide. Dozens have since taken to Facebook criticising the event, calling it a massive fail. But organiser Jamie Templeton says procedures are in place to refund disappointed users.
What I've done is I've spoken to the ticketing agent, and we've put together a refund proposal for customers. So If they're wanting a refund, then they just ring up.
The event travelled overnight to take on the Nelson Crowns. Despite high expectations by organisers, it's still needing to iron out the glitches.
I think the biggest thing that we've learned out of this show is that we are blown away by the support, but we've been able to identify some key operational issues that we need to tweak on our end due to the I think it's more related to the locations of the event. So that's put a lot of pressure on our operational process. So we've kind of identified some tweaks there.
Despite many disappointed by the large slippery slide with 29-degree temperatures in Christchurch yesterday, the large slide was still a hit for many. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Well, there's some good news for Christchurch tourism. It does appear limited accommodation isn't preventing international visitors from landing at the city's major airport.
We're not quite like Heathrow or Singapore, but the New Zealand airports have flown to the top, beating their previous record of the busiest month ever. Departures and arrivals increased by 5% in December last year, compared to the same time the year before, making the customs service the busiest since its establishment 175 years ago. Just over 500,000 people returned to New Zealand in December. That's up by 25,000 from the previous year. Christchurch International Airport has experienced increased passenger numbers too. Around 11,000 more visitors arrived on our shores between December 2012 and December 2014, with 7,000 people heading away for the Christmas period. The Smart Gate service, which allows passengers to use an e-passport on any automated customs system, has seen increases since the age requirement was dropped from 16 to 12 years old last year. The service can be used by Australian, US, UK and Canadian e-passport holders. More than 10,000 people used the service when entering the country since 2013.
Well, as we reported earlier, how could you forget, it is the first day of school today, and it's particularly poignant for returning students from Wilston and Phillipstown schools. After anger and resentment, it was a new beginning for pupils of the newly formed school. Here's Emma Cropper.
It was a day marking not only the new school year, but new beginnings. 430 students celebrating Te Waka Anua, the new name given to the merged Wilston and Phillipstown schools. Hundreds from the community stood by as a mark of support as the school officially welcomed its new name.
Huge amount of excitement, I guess, is the key. We've seen lots of parents and students come down really excited to jump on board and see what is ahead for us.
As part of the shake-up of Christchurch schools back in 2013, Phillipstown School was shut and forced to merge with Wilston Primary after a hard-fought battle. But today was about moving forward.
I think that's the feeling I get today as everyone's moved, ready for this next journey and put the past behind it. Of course, it was a trying time working up to this, but yeah, I get the feeling everyone's really positive moving forward.
But many kids entered the schoolyard with first-day jitters.
I think so, a little bit nervous, but just initial first school day nerves, yeah.
I think some of them are a bit nervous, but generally the Wilston kids I don't think are going to be affected too much by the change, because the main thing is the uniform and the name that's changing. Everything else is generally staying the same. So
the school is expecting an extra 70 students on site this year, which for the children can only mean one thing.
Lots of new friends. It's cool.
why is that?
Because it's just two new schools just put together, and so we can have a new start.
There's more people, so people can make more friends.
$11 million is being invested into the rebuild and refurbishment of the school, including a new technology block. There were concerns from the community about transportation for students in the Phillipstown community, which has been resolved by a short-term solution.
So the school bus will operate the minivan backwards and forwards from there, and also walking school buses are being set up so that students can be walk to school, but as a group and safely with an adult supervising.
But despite those reservations from the local local community. Today's first day of the school term has been welcomed by the parents.
I think it's quite positive in a lot of ways. Wasn't too sure about it at first because Wilson actually used to be my own school. But the investment that the government's putting into it, I think is quite positive. And
I think it's really good. Yeah, I just think that they'll have a really good year together, and I think it's a good thing, yeah.
Releasing these balloons marking a new chapter in the community's history. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Very nice, positive end after all. Well, still to come, the weekend sports roundup and your region's weather. Well, as you may know, the Waimakariri district, along with the Selwyn district, are the country's fastest growing regions. That's right here in New Zealand. So, tonight on CTV's Lynch program at 8:30, I'll talk to the two mayors about their hopes for the future and how on earth are they going to cope with the infrastructure, given the residential boom happening in those two regions. That's in Selwyn, of course, and Waimakariri. I'll have both the mayors on Lynch tonight, CTV at 8:30. Hope you can join us. Well, another symbol of the rebuild on the east has got locals excited. The new St John Hall in New Brighton is reopening next week following a $165,000 earthquake repair. The 40-year-old hall at Rowiti Domain will be used as a training base for St John's New Brighton Youth Division and will continue to be used as a community centre. The rebuild hall, with council funding, will open next Monday. And now here's Gorella with the weekend's sports preview.
The Crusaders fell to their second straight pre-season defeat on Saturday when they went down 41 points to 31 at the hands of the Hurricanes. The game, played in Ekatahuna, also came with more injury worries for the side, with the day's captain Matt Todd victim to an ankle injury in the first half, preventing him from returning to the game. One positive to take from the match was a second-half cameo from Dan Carter, who entered the game with the score at 38-12, setting up Robbie Fruin before converting to narrow the gap. The Crusaders have one pre-season match remaining against the Reds at Ballymore Oval. The team will be looking for a win before they start their season proper on February 13th against the Melbourne Rebels at AMI Stadium. Canterbury United have dropped to fourth spot in the ASB Football Premiership after going down 1-0 to new competition leaders Auckland City FC. The game winner came in the 55th minute, with Ryan De Vries grabbing all 3 points for the visitors. Auckland City goalkeeper Tamati Williams was really troubled throughout the match, with the table toppers dominating the possession stats. Auckland were reduced to 10 men in the final minutes of the match. However, Canterbury were unable to capitalise and now find themselves 10 points behind the competition leaders. And finally tonight, the finalists have been found for the one-day Metro cricket competition after St Albans and Lancaster Park Woolston both had commanding wins in their semi-finals. Taking on Canterbury Country at Hallsville Domain, Saints found themselves in trouble early at 34 for 4 and then 119 for 8. 2 knocks into the 40s from Ben Langrope and Nathan Roberts got Saints through to a defendable total of 170, and it was then their bowlers that produced the goods as they rolled Country for just 37. At Burwood Park, it was Lancaster Park Woolston batting first and setting the defending champs East Shirley 208 to book a final spot. It was then a strong effort from all of the Lancaster Park bowling stock as they strangled East Shirley for 134. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Finlater for CTV Sport.
Thanks, Gordon. Now time for the region's weather.
Kia ora Canterbury, hope you've had a great weekend. Let's take a look at your weather. Timaru, one of the hottest places today, 29 degrees. Temuka and Geraldine, 26 for you. Ashburton, you had a great day today, a warm 29 degrees. Methven, 27 for you. Rakaya, a nice day for you, sitting on 29 degrees. Darfield, you had 27 today. Leeston and Rolleston, slightly warmer on 28 degrees. Moving along now, Lincoln and Christchurch, 28 for you. Over in Akaroa, it was another great day for you today, fine with 28 degrees. Further north, Kaiapoi, Rangiora and Amberley, you all shared a warm 28 today. Culverden, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, a fine day for you, slightly cooler on 26 degrees. And up in Kaikoura, you were sitting on 28 degrees. Looking at tomorrow's weather now, Timaru, it'll be a cooler day for you tomorrow with light showers at first, but they're due to clear by the afternoon, leaving you with a fine day and cool southwesterly winds. Your low tonight is 10, tomorrow's high 17 degrees. Taking a look at Ashburton tomorrow, there'll be some sou'westers bringing mostly cloudy skies to your area and mid-Canterbury with a few morning showers expected. Tonight's low 10, your high tomorrow 17. To Christchurch now, some light showers at times during the morning, but mostly dry during the afternoon with cloud and cool southwesterly breezes. Tonight's low 10, tomorrow's high 17. Up in Kaikoura, it'll be a cloudy day for you tomorrow with some showers at times and moderate southwesterly winds expected. Your low tonight is 10, tomorrow you'll be sitting on 16 degrees. Looking at the other areas around the region, Temuka and Geraldine, there'll be some showers in the morning, but that will turn to cloud by the afternoon. Your high is 17. Methven tomorrow, showers at first, then a cloudy afternoon, 17 for you. Rakaya, same for you, slightly cooler, 16 degrees. Darfield, some showers at first, then turning cloudy, 17 for you. Leeston, Rolleston and Lincoln, showers, then a cloudy afternoon for you, 16 your high. Over in Akaroa tomorrow, there'll be a few showers hanging around in the morning, then turning to cloud. Your high is 16. Moving north, Kaiapoi, Rangiora and Amberley, you all share some showers in the morning, then some cloud, 17 degrees for you tomorrow. Culverden, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, a few sprinkles of showers in the morning, then some cloud appearing in the afternoon, 17 your high. Looking ahead for Canterbury, it'll be mostly fine on Wednesday with a period of strong gusty northeasterlies and some high cloud expected, but there'll be a period of southwesterly winds and a few brief showers by Wednesday night. As for Thursday, it'll become fine and sunny with northeasterly winds developing. Cloudy on Friday with some brief light showers likely as the colder southwesterly winds become strong and gusty during the afternoon. The cloud will be clearing by Saturday and sunny periods will increase as the day goes on with cool southwesterlies dying out. And for Sunday it'll be mostly fine and sunny with northeasterlies expected. And that's your weather for this Monday.
And that is CTV News for Monday. We now leave you with more footage of today's first day of school. Have a great evening.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.